Okay, now, where the frack am I supposed to go? Why the hell is this not loading? Okay, so, I already got through Old Bag. Criminal Affairs. Should I examine everything here? Supposed to be chief of the detectives, he's glued to the computer screen. What? The hero of award ceremony? The grand prize got away from the Jammin' Ninja again? Shouldn't you be reading something more important? Aw, it's kinda cute. Mr. Nick, what is that stuffed animal's name? That's a blue badger. It was my idea, I made it. It's the precinct mascot. You know it. Oh, wow. I'll get him a signed mascot of every police station if it's the last thing I do. I hope you'll succeed in your mission, sir. So... use a detective test, or the computers and files on each one, and finally they're a lot tighter than expected. I guess the detectives don't spend a lot of time at their desks. That man must be one of the detectives. He's mumbling something himself. A break and spit it out, you lowlifes. A break and spit it out. You lowlife scumbag. A turkey sandwich? Don't you eat ham every day? Get sick of it or something? You must be doing some training for interrogations. Alright, I'm thinking, because I gotta do something. There's what's his name. So, I don't know if I submitted the right thing. I don't know if I have enough evidence to talk to Lotta. I don't know if I could... Alright. Yoga Hall. Alright, the hallway. I gotta speak to Lotta. There you are. I gotta get rid of that psych lock at one point. Because you have this, and I don't know if I got enough evidence for Lotta. I don't know. But I gotta figure this out one by one. I'm gonna open up the walkthrough just in case. Walk through, it's returning, blah blah blah. Okay. Without further ado, let's begin. And take that! Two locks. Medium difficulty. Big scoop. Lotta, will you answer my questions? Please answer my questions. On the night of the murder, why are you loitering around the victim's room? I told you, didn't I? For my scoop! What I want to know about are the details of the scoop. That's not something I can tell you. I mean, there's my bread and butter. Alright then, an unpleasant tabloid photographer looking for a scoop. I'm gonna say that you were looking into a scandal. Grr! Could it be that you, Lotta, were looking to break a huge story? Perhaps an unfolding scandal between Juan and this person. Juan Corrida and what person? I'm thinking, because Matt and Gar did set up Adrian Andrews to be with Juan, so take it! Oh, it did work. Nice! I got my noggin going! This one. Adrian Andrews, Matt and Gar is manager. The Nickel Samurai's manager, caught secretly meeting with his rival, the Jammin' Ninja. It would be the hottest story of the season, wouldn't it? That worked. You're pretty good at this guessing thing, Mr. Lawyer. But you can't make up any old thing and think it'll make the papers. You gotta back up. Back up? Yeah, you gotta have that. What's that? News sauce? You mean news source? That's it. Show me something that shows Juan and that Juan guy had something to do with Miss Andrews. Okay, do I have anything... There's gotta be some proof. Murder, crime, photo scene. I'm thinking. Found next to the victim. Found next to the victim. It's empty, there's some water brought on top of the lid. Show me this... something that shows that the one guy had something to do with Miss Andrews. Do I have the evidence or not? Nope. I gotta back out. I don't think I have enough evidence yet. I should investigate and gather more clues before I try again. I was able to get the first one, but the other one... Okay, so... something tells me I'm gonna have... Oh, shit. I gotta get Adrian Andrews to talk first. What happens if I try her now? Take that! Alright. You're gonna be a little bit harder, aren't you? Oh, you are definitely gonna be a little bit extra harder. Motive for murder. Why was Juan Corrida murdered? If you ask me, I think you know the reason he was killed. Why are you hiding things? Don't you realize you're putting Mr. Guard's life in danger by your actions? Why do you ask questions for which I have no answers? Why is this freaking crashing on me? Dear God. The truth is, I was not that close to Mr. Corrida. You were not that close? That's right, I've never been good at being intimate with another person. You're not good at being intimate with another person. Somehow I highly doubt that. Okay, I need to look for evidence, because I feel like I can't break either Lotta or Adrian Andrews. There's gotta be something I'm overlooking. But what? But who? Because I can't seem to get that whack through open. Alright, find in page Adrian. Andrews, motive for murder. Okay, so it should have something, but what? Hotel. Okay, back at the there's not much to do. The frickin' thing is giving me a hard time. Alright, Gateway Hotel. Bag shows you know what happened. Samurai is the murder. Lotta's waiting for you in the hallway. She's talking about the thief who's stolen her camera. Okay, head to Vanguard's room. Since Lotta doesn't want to cooperate, ask you to help anything. Present the ticket you got from Powers last night so that Andrews can have a look. She says that she was the one making preparations. Night. Okay. Believe it or not, even Andrews for everyone seems to have secrets today. Time to get moving. Your destination is Mr. Corrida's room. Because this last episode is already hard enough as it is. And I'm just looking through the walkthrough on my phone. Because for some odd reason, my PC's not working. Alright. Police have evidence that Aaron Guard was murdered. Guard's costume that was found. He was also a witness. Whole bag. There's a mirror. There was a mirror behind the guitar case on the table in front of it. There's wine glass filled in the glass. Pearl mentioned a little weird for the glass to stand there. Now Dr. Gumshoe again. Alright, Karma. Alright, Powers is still there at the hotel since last night. Police don't want to let him go. Present the profile of Man and Guardian and Cortez to hear more about this two stuff. The fight. Finally show him Adrian Andrews' profile. Powers saves once upon a time he was interested in Andrews. Okay, so I actually have to speak to Will Powers first. Okay, you debated around the same time and everything. Really? I started out small, first in singing contest and swimming competitions, then it was a bowling tournament, and then it was a bet throw the bets. New Year's parties. Almost already trying to one up Matt. But lately those two are escalating to more and more dangerous things. I thought that no good would come of it, so I began to worry. Too bad one story ended so soon. On Goddard Day. Matt's younger than me, but you can practically see his star potential. His star potential? I got his autograph the other day. Feels kind of wrong now, doesn't it? I don't care what people say. Matt didn't kill Juan. And I know he didn't. Alright, now Adrian Andrews. Hey, that's Miss Andrews. She's Matt's manager. Actually, I was interested in her for a little bit, just a little. So Mr. Powers likes this type of woman. What do you know about Miss Andrews? Well, see, here's the thing. I don't really know her no, you know? No. No, I don't. There's a sort of small rumor going around about her right now. A rumor? Ah, if you're interested, I'm glad to share what I know. He's so happy it looks like he's lying. Just found his next meal. Please! The gossip on Adrian. You mind telling me about this gossip? Ah, so you are interested. I figured you would be. Ah, I have such a weakness for celebrity gossip, too. Oh, really? You too, huh? Yeah, take a look at this. Looks like the tabloid Miss Olbag would read. Alright, let's see here. Jammin' Midnight Rendezvous? To the mysterious yet beautiful manager, Mrs. A.A. You see now, don't you? What? You can't stop pretending to be in the dark, Mr. Wright. Juan Corrida didn't have a manager of his own. Which means that we were talking about a certain manager with the initials A.A. Adrian Andrews? Yes, exactly. This is big news. But it seems kind of odd that the woman, Miss Andrews, together with the biggest rival or client. Ah, that'd be a wonderful thing that can only happen between two people. Mr. Powers looks so happy. Girls are just following along, not having an idea why he's smiling. Well, the saying goes, one man's garbage is another man's treasure. So that's the proof I need to show to Lotta Heart. Alright. Now I can back up what I say. You skip it all. Right to the next part where it says back up. Alright. Okay, so Adrian Andrews, take that! This woman got the first lock. Now I gotta have the backup. And it's right. Take that! Here we go. This is an article from a certain weekly tabloid. Yemen Midnight Rendezvous. To the mysterious yet pitiful manager of the star, Miss A.A. Ah! Mr. Correa didn't have a manager of his own. What's more, his rival, Mr. Hungarian manager, Andrew Andrews, she has the initials A.A. She saw the article and then thought to take some pictures of them as proof. That's why you're looking around Miss Correa's store last night. Ah! Aha! There we go, I finally get it. With the help of a walkthrough. Oops. So I finally got Lotta. Because everybody's got secrets around here. Big scoop. You were looking at Miss Correa, Mr. Correa and Miss Andrews' affair, aren't you? You got it. I was gonna get myself a scoop by catching him in a secret meeting. But there's already an article about it in one of the weekly tabloid magazines. It's no longer breaking news. What'd you say? Your initials are AA. What kind of vague thing is that? They ain't no proof of nothing. People are gonna want to see real proof. Well, at least I do. That's what I was doing, getting photos. Oh? I'm gonna whip up some readers' interest with some gossip and a little misleading. Then spice it up a little and have myself an exclusive story. Wow, Lotta. Nice journalistic integrity you got there. I already finished writing up my spicy article, you know? But the paper I wrote on, my note to myself, it's gone. Your note to yourself? It was inside the case of my $600 camera. They done ran off together. I came here for my big story. I didn't come here to get treasure disappear on me. Yeah, I understand. It's enough to make Miguel go bonkers, I tell ya. What's with people nowadays? I never thought I'd see the day when someone done steal something from me. You really want that note back, huh? I got no idea what the story on the note is. Probably a bold-faced lie. Stolen on the day of the murder. Tabloid article about the victim was in the case. Huh. Okay, so wait, hold on a second. As part of the gossip, got the big scoop. Using my time now. Then, alright, I already got old bag secret done. So 7 minutes before the victim returned, she had to go to the toilet. Says that she likes to tease you and the good opportunity to with any marking or autograph you found. Okay, and then the last lock breaks and they get the autograph. The victim was found, she had to go use the toilet, says she did. Gumshoe greets you. Okay, so I gotta go to the police station. Because this case is so freaking hard enough as it is. Alright, time to go to Criminal Affairs. Here we go. March 21st, Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department. Detective Gumshoe said they had an investigation briefing. Yeah. Oh, he's back! Hey, here come up, pal. Why the blunt greeting? But there's nothing to be friendly or happy about. What do you mean by that? Well, if things look perfectly this time around, the evidence and the testimony are airtight. But, you can't just roll over and die. We have to stay positive. What is it about the evidence? Airtight evidence, airtight testimony? So what do you mean by the evidence is airtight? I can't give you all the details, pal, but there's two big pieces. Two? And both of them are in this photo. What do you mean? The first is the button that was missing on the victim's chest. That's a button that you found during your body search of Mr. Angard. Yep, I found it inside the folds of the Nickel Samurai Special Pants. And the second one is the knife on the chest, pal. The fingerprints on the knife in the chest, to be exact. Fingerprints? Whose are they? You didn't even have to ask. A little messy, it's obvious. They're Matt and Garde's. Tomorrow's trial, I'll talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place. Airtight testimony. So what about this airtight testimony? It's that old security lady, Miss Oldbag. I thought so. What do you mean you thought so? Didn't she tell you something, pal? Well... And I even told her not to open that mouth of hers and blab to anyone. Her blab knob is stuck on 10 and there's no turning down. Trust me. Yeah, well, Miss Oldbag saw it all, pal. She saw Mr. Angard come out of the victim's room around the estimated time of death. No way! How do you know that? How do you know this? The stuff in the glass is tomato juice, pal. Tomato juice. I heard the victim really loved that stuff. Favorite drink in the world. It was his favorite drink? First time I've heard that. Guitar case. What can you tell me about the guitar case? Oh, that! This is, just what I heard, pal. This is Jammin' Ninja's signature item. But the guitar wasn't in his hotel room. Yeah, we looked for it too. It's not normal for a person to forget to bring their most famous item to the war show. Starting to feel like the right guitar is related to this case after all. You look at the photo and you can't help it. Makes you say, I can't believe this is a scene of a murder. Stabbed with a knife after a struggle. The clue is sleeping in this photo somewhere, I know it. Where? Also, guy map, Ziff. Okay, nope. Okay, anything else? Magazine clipping. Ooh, we're pretty interested in a bit of a gossip ourselves. A scandal with Mr. Corita. But why? Well, 2 years ago, a woman committed suicide. What? Who? Suicide? Her name was Celeste Impax. Celeste Impax. And she was Juan Corita's manager. The victim's manager? But that's not all, pal. Miss Impax was Miss Andrews' mentor. She taught Miss Andrews everything she knew about the business from square one. Her mentor? A woman who was both Miss Corita's manager and Miss Andrews' mentor. Could her suicide have something to do with this case? You want to know more about her, pal? Yes! Please tell me. She was the victim's manager and Miss Andrews' mentor. It's also been 2 years since her suicide, and those two things are linked again by another death. Or maybe... Oh! Ah! Oh shit, it's her. I'm getting sick of dealing with one foolish idiot after another. Miss Von Karma! You can't seem to stop allying yourself with the enemy, can you? I don't need a traitor in my midst. You don't mean... I do. Scruffy, you have 30 minutes to get out of here. You are no longer needed. Goodbye. That's... Wait, please wait, sir. If I don't get this month's... Quiet! If it weren't for traitors like you, I would have won. Is that what you wanted to say? Hmm? Who? That voice. Edgeworth! It's been a long time, Wright. He just shows up all of a sudden. Edgeworth. This is Mr. Edgeworth? What am I going to do with you? Still blaming others when things go wrong. You haven't changed a bit, Francisca. You! How dare you show your face to me without a shred of shame upon it? You've soiled the Von Karma name, dragged it through the mud. You even ran with your tail tucked between your legs, you ill-bred dog you are! You were talking about the Von Karma family creed to be perfect in every way. Then let's hear it, Francisca. How are things going? I hear you're having a rough time maintaining perfection in this country. You seem to be getting crushed under the weight of it all. That's why I came back. Keep your assumptions to yourself. I haven't given in yet. I won't lose. This case is mine. I'll never hand it over to you. Never! Mr. Phoenix Wright, I'll see you tomorrow in court. It'll be a clinical lesson on the meaning of total victory. Still the same wild mare she always was. Edgeworth! Why did you come back? I thought you were the prosecutor. Miles Edgeworth had gone and died. Mr. Nick, I never wanted to see you again. I think that's enough of a warm welcome for someone you haven't seen in a year. Are you going to run tomorrow's trial? You heard her, right? That wild mare hasn't given in yet, it seems. So, no, I don't think I'll be making an appearance. Your hatred for me is quite unhealthy, not to mention one-sided. But I will say one thing. You can't win on your own at the trial tomorrow. What is that supposed to mean? I think it means he's somehow gonna have to help me out. I have something definitive that you lack. And working together is definitely a definition of teamwork. It's the power to find the truth. The truth. In order to understand this case, you have to understand a certain truth. Well, if you ever feel the need for my assistance, it is available to you. I'm not in charge of this case, so I can be a bit more generous with information. Just what is going on inside his head. Proof of Von Karma's blood. A lot of things may have happened, however, a man for Von Karma was still my mentor. And a perfect win record is proof of a Von Karma. 1 year ago. You could not establish a guilt in few cases. Are those losses the reason you suddenly disappeared from the prosecutor's office? Did you leave because you had lost your perfect win record? Do you think your motivation for prosecuting trials was so selfish? It'd been better for everyone if you never came back from the dead, Edgeworth. I see. Then let me ask you something. Why do you stand in the courtroom? What is your reason? Why stand in court? Well, with Francisca, she almost says, I will defeat you this time, the instant she sees me. But the courtroom is not a personal battlefield for prosecutors or lawyers. I stand in the courtroom to defend my client, to save their lives. Save your client, you say. Those who think only of their own ego-driven goals. Those kind of prosecutors are reprehensible of me. Even if you're a prodigy, or someone like you, Edgeworth. It looks like there is still a lot you have yet to learn. A lot I have yet to learn, me? Well, that's enough for now. The time when you will see is coming soon enough. Okay! Wait, what else am I supposed to do with him? Here comes Shu regarding the testimony. And before Gumshoe managed to get into details, my old Edgeworth was standing in court. Now Edgeworth. Show Edgeworth the profile of Celeste impacts, and he says impact suicide. No, missing. Huh. So there is a few things I'm missing. Celeste impacts. Killed herself 2 years ago. This woman is yet another key to solving the case. Don't you think so? She was Adrian Andrews' mentor a long time ago. But she was suddenly called away by a different show, and became Juan Corrida's manager. And then, a few months later, Celeste Impacts died. But her death was ruled a suicide, right? Yes, but there was one riddle to solve. A riddle? Her suicide note. The one missing, no one could find it. A suicide note that just vanished, huh? Missing suicide note. Miss Impact's death was most certainly a suicide, of that there's no mistake. However, we could not find her suicide note. That's when the police began to suspect someone had hidden it. The suicide note? But how do you know that Miss Impacts had even written such a note? There is no solid evidence, however. We did find traces of ink on her right index finger, which makes the likelihood of a suicide note very high. But who would hide such a thing? The police think it was Mr. Juan Corrida himself. The victim? He was the one who found her body, which makes him the only person who had the chance to hide her suicide note. Mr. Corrida hid his own manager's suicide note, but why? As long as our note is missing, any speculation beyond that, this is meaningless. For now, I think you should look this over. This is a suicide report, part 1 anyways. Part 1? Suicide report, found by Juan Corrida. Was her suicide note hidden? Dang it. Okay, ask Edgeworth about the secret. Andrew, the secret of holding on to. Edgeworth gives you a suicide report, gets added. Show Edgeworth the report he gave you, and I'll tell you, but there's another report. Wait, William Shakespeare. I loved her, oh, I loved her. Why did I have to call her? For years I thought that she was mine. Now I must consume thy wine. What? I didn't know if Shakespeare actually wrote that. Now I must consume thy wine. Why the frick is Chrome being a bitch? Alright, so where's the second report? I don't like to look through those reports. I like suicide reports even less. First of all, the reports have multiple parts like that. That has two parts. What you just handed me is the first part of the report. Here's the second part. The second part of the report is about attempted suicide. The attempter's name is Adrian Andrews. Miss Andrews, what did she do? She's trying to kill herself? I am Shakespeare, yes I am here and here to spam, like Monty Python. She doesn't seem to like the person who tried to kill herself, though. You think she's a strong career woman? That's just what she wants you to think. Adrian Andrews, she always has a certain secret she always trying to hide. A secret! Her dependent nature, that's what she's really like on the inside. Miss Andrews, dependent? Talk about the exact opposite of what a woman is. Dependent nature. What's about this Miss Andrews having a dependent nature? Adrian Andrews attempted at suicide. It was a few days after the impacts of Celeste impacts. And that is why... And why did Andrews think about committing suicide? Because she apparently lost her will to live. Lost her will? But why would she... Her pillar of strength, her mentor Celeste impacts. It was gone forever, that's why. Why that? Is this what they call following someone to the grave? After her attempted suicide, Adrian Andrews started attending counseling sessions. She is someone who needs a person in whom she can trust absolutely. And once she finds that person, she'll do anything she can to keep them near. Without such an anchor in her life, her crippling anxiety stifles her ability to live. And that's the nature of her dependency on others. When Celeste Impact suddenly committed suicide, the world before her turned pitch dark. That's according to Adrian Andrews herself. Then, that means her super confident attitude? It's all a facade. She's only copying her mentor's behavior to hold herself together. How terrible. This is quite the thing! Alright, so you got... code of dependency, now the attempted suicide report gets added. Head all the way back to the guard's room and after you got the 2 reports. Adrian is still in the room, alright, but she's talking about a certain person. Blah 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 blah. Okay, I'm just still looking at the walkthrough because this game is super hard and it's never a good idea to look at the walkthrough. I don't know, maybe for me, just looking at hints is a huge letdown. But I've been using my brain a lot for everything. So, I'm gonna take a break. Hallway, I already spoke to Lotta. And guard's room. Here we go! March 21st, Gatewater Hotel, and guard's hotel room. Oh, Miss Andrews is here! But it looks like she's talking with someone. Who? That's Francisca Von Karma! Miss Von Karma? What are you doing here? Well, you see, I'm his lawyer, so you've got some nerve following me around. Following you? That's you, Miss Von Karma. You're the one doing the following. Pearls. You're always following after that Mr. Detective with a little beard. Me? After the scruffy? Let me show you something interesting. Little girl. Beep 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 beep. What's that? An electromagnetic receiver. I planted a tracking device on that detective. And with this, I know that fool's every move. So that noise we heard was this receiver. I feel really sorry for Detective Gumshoe now. Now then, let's stop wasting time. Adrian Andrews. Yes? Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood? Ow. Alright. What were those 2 talking about? Miss Andrews, she seems a little dazed, doesn't she? Something tells me Miss Von Karma asked her to shut up. But I'm doing the complete opposite! Wait, let me double check. Let me show you the same thing, doing the thing. We're saying Marco Thomas so Andrews could see it, and the woman had psych locks. Take that! Let's see if I can use my noggin without looking at the walkthrough. Motive for murder. Why was Juan Corrida murdered? If you ask me, I think you know the reason he was killed. Why are you hiding things? Okay, never mind, look at the walkthrough. Now what? First, the victim was not close to her, says the tabloid. Okay, so, do you realize you're putting Mr. Unguard's life in danger by your actions? Why do you ask questions for which I have no answers? The truth is, I was not that close to Corrida. You were not that close? That's right, I was never good at being intimate with another person. You're not good at being intimate with another person? Somehow I highly doubt that. Because the article I have right here. Take that! Says you were. You and Mr. Corrida had an intimate relationship, did you not? A silly third-rate tabloid article. If you even had half your wits about you, you wouldn't believe such rubbish. Well, it seems like quite a few people have already bought into this story. As to be expected in the world filled with crooks and liars. And Richard Nixons. Note to self, stay on our good side. In any case, I despise interpersonal relations. See, however, what if there was a need for you to get close to someone? Me? Need to get close to Mr. Corrida as if there was ever such a need. Didn't you get close to Mr. Corrida for this person's sake? For Celeste Impacts. Take that! Yes! Celeste Impacts, your mentor. How do you know about Celeste? You do know. Miss Impacts, she committed suicide, shouldn't she? But it looks like no one knows why. Right before her death, she was Juan Corrida's manager. So I believe you got close to Mr. Corrida so you can find out more about her suicide. You have great imagination. You have a future yet as a slim muckracker for a future third-rate tabloid. Miss Andrews, there's no mystery surrounding her death. None. It would be pointless for me to force myself into a relationship for nothing. Is that really true? Was there really no... I don't believe you're completely at ease with the where suicide was resolved. Attempted suicide report. Reason shock from Celeste impact suicide. Take that! Why did that not work? Go and take a long walk for a short period. There's no mystery surrounding death. It would be pointless for me to force myself into a relationship. Is it really true there's no really mystery at all? I don't believe you're completely at ease with the rate of suicide. Okay, what am I not getting? You tell Andrews you believe that she... The reason for Andrews committed suicide. Show Andrews the profile of Celeste. You say that Andrews got close to a creative solve. So it makes sense. You present the suicide report you got from Edgeworth. So this one. Take that! The setback suicide note was never found, was it? It looks like the police were under suspicion that someone had hidden it. Like maybe the person who discovered the body, Mr. Cordia. One. And Miss Andrews, I believe you thought the same thing. That is why you became intimate with Mr. Cordia. You wanted to know why your manager killed herself. I've sat quietly and listened to your insulting rambling long enough. It's true that Celeste was my mentor, however, allow me to say this again. It had nothing to do with me. I didn't even know that her suicide note was never found. I'm a person who doesn't care about what goes on in the lives of others. Yo! That's the impression you like to give, however. I don't think that's who you really are. What? I have evidence that says otherwise. This proof of Celeste was someone very special to you. Take that! Miss Andrews, you nearly went through it with it, didn't you? Went through what? Ending your life. Miss Andrews, you look and act very strong woman who has it all together. You don't ask for anyone's help, relying only on yourself. Yes, I've been very independent ever since I remember. However, that is just a lie, a facade. You've always searched out people who you can depend on. You're independent on Miss Impacts, weren't you? Which is why, when she passed away, you lost everything you had. Stop! Ooh. When Celeste passed away so suddenly like that, I died a death of my own, but no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't stop thinking about what had become of her note. You must have heard about the police report. The one that said the police suspected Mr. Cordia was hiding Miss Impact's note. She heard it and thought I'd recover from him again by getting close to him. Am I right? If that's the case, then everything changes. What do you mean? What topic do we start this conversation on again? Motive for murder? It was why the victim was killed. Exactly. Somehow, Miss Andrews, it seems that you've become the one reason to want Mr. Cordia dead. Me? Miss Impact was everything to you. And then she died. And you would do anything to find out why she was killed yourself. Even commit murder. Murder?! Nice, recovered. I watched your other live stream. Okay. How was it? It's true I'm a woman who can only live in insecurity. Sounds like another woman I know who I'm trying to point in the right direction. It was really good. I'm physically small and I don't even have a lot of self-confidence like every other woman. Because all women have a core of fear somewhere at their being. How do I know? Because going on estrogen has helped me to see that fear. I pushed it against all that, though I've tried to live strongly. I never wanted anyone to find out the truth. Miss Andrews, you know, this one thing, it's the one thing I wanted to take with me to the grave. It was my secret, mine and mine alone. I'm sorry. You probably think I'm a worthless human being right now, don't you? Please, Miss Andrews, all I want to know is the truth. So you understand that you have this fear at your being, and it's hard, and you try to be strong, and it's not good enough because you shatter yourself inside out, and it's always a mental thing when you try to portray to other people, and you try to be strong, but it's never good enough because other people will call you out on it. Yes, I do understand it. I want to know the truth. After Celeste would pass away, pretty much. I heard that someone had hidden her suicide note, and that is the reason why I wanted Cordia. Celeste, without her I became scared. Everyone seemed like they were out to get me. So you got close to Mr. Cordia to recover her suicide note, correct? Looks like the tabloid reported the truth after all. Ironic, isn't it? Well, like they say, where there's smoke, there's fire. And if they purposely added fuel to the fire, they keep the celebrity world burning. But as far as the suicide note, I didn't and wouldn't kill anyone for it. It just doesn't suit me, that's all. Well, that's enough for now. I still have work to do, so I understand. Oh, I have one small favor to ask. My attempted suicide, I'd like you to keep it a secret. Miss Andrews, if people found out about my weakness, I would sooner choose to die than live. Alright, I understand. We'll keep it a secret. Miss Andrews, I guess she's the overthinking type. She probably never says anything without carefully thinking it through first. Thank you for your discretion. Oh, I noticed Shakespeare's spam. Yeah, Shakespeare wanted to spam his shit in here. Mr. Nick, can I ask you something? What is it? Miss Andrews has been playing with the card in her hand since a little while back. That card, yeah. I guess she has? What card is that? A little seashell? Miss Andrews, what is that card you're holding? Huh? Oh, this? I don't quite know. It just suddenly appeared in my handbag. What is that? A little conch shell? What is it? It looks like a seashell. That's what it looks like, doesn't it? I honestly don't remember owning this card. I don't remember where I picked it up from. Or not remembering something clearly. Sounds like it would be a rare occurrence. Well, it must be off. I leave Mr. Unguardian in your capable hands. Alright, here we go. Well, I think we've got her all we can. What about Miss Maya? Is she alright? Oh, Pearl, she looks so wonderful about this. She hasn't slept at all and walking all over the place with me today. What's wrong, Mr. Nick? Let's go back to the office for a little while. You're really tired, right? Oh, no, I'm okay. Really? I'm really fine, I am. You don't look fine to me. We gotta go to the office quick! To fall apart and go to bed! Alright, back to the office. Back to the orifice. No. So now, well, we did find out one thing for sure. Miss Andrews has a motive. You mean Miss Impact's suicide note? That's right, she also the one to discover the victim's body. Clever. Beep, beep, beep. Ah! Mr. Nick, the transceiver. Beep. Hello? Wright and Cole offices. Mr. Attorney, not answering a phone. Maya, where's Maya? As I promised, I have not gone within a few feet of her this whole time. Phew! Which is why I suppose she's absolutely famished. What? So I suggest you win a quick acquittal, my friend. At any cost. Wouldn't you agree? Wait! Maya, let me hear! Very well. Ask Maya, is that you? Sis. Ask my sis. Maya! Maya! Damn it! Cut me off. Ask sis. Ask Mia? Miss Maya said, ask my sis, didn't she? Sis, what does you mean by that? Come on, Phoenix. You're a hopeless one. I'm sorry, Ack? Wow, you channeled Mia just in less than a few seconds. I have a message for Maya, so come ask me anything about her. Pearls channeled Mia right off the bat. And every time someone channels another person, they change a physical form. Maya's situation. How's Maya? She's safe for now. The kidnapper is one to keep his word, it seems. I'm glad to hear she's safe. But Mia, how do you know? As soon as she was locked up, Maya called for me. I heard the note she left. Then I gathered as much information about her surroundings as I could. I didn't know that you could use spirit channeling like that. Pretty smart of her. Kidnapped the kidnapper, what's she like? I don't know. Apparently Maya went to answer the phone call at the hotel and was drugged there. And she didn't see the face of her attacker. Maya is locked up in a very dark place right now. I'll tell you everything I heard when I was with her. When you were with her? Date, time, location, unknown. In a wine cellar. Ah, I'm starving. I could really go for some apple pie. I mean, at a time like this, sweets are the only way to go. I have to stay positive. He probably she wasn't gonna kill me. I'm not gonna die. Sis, I wonder if you're Nick the Thick right now. There's all sorts of things piled up here. But it's too dark to see. And there's a note on the floor. Huh? Someone dropped the card here. It kind of looks like a business card, but there's no name on it. The seashell. It's a picture of a seashell, I think. What a strange card. Why am I trapped in the wine cellar? What's this? I feel like there's a lot of glass bottles here. And these, they feel like barrels. I'll pass. I'm really too hungry. I'm not really thirsty. The door. Drat, I'm locked. This door's locked. Seems easy enough to open. On TV, the hero always uses a plastic card or a stiff piece of cardboard. Then they click, they magically open the door. I wonder if there's a card around here they could use. Ah, that's it, the shell card. If I use this, maybe I can get the door open. This might be the key out of here. I had a feeling this card might be useful. I'm such a genius. Alright, now if you'll excuse me, Mr. Kidnapper. Click. I did it! Okay, now I'm getting the heck out of here. I should keep Nick Werder. So she actually tried to escape at one point. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. So we're in courtroom. March 22nd, 9:47 a.m. District Court, defendant lobby number 3. Adrian did it. That's what it looks like. Dude, no way. That one couldn't do anything like that. In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that'll implicate you. A mountain of evidence? I'm certain there's someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you. Please, Mr. Lawyer. Dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze. All right. I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. I understand. Well, almost time. Mia. We must get a complete acquittal today. I know, but I can't focus on my situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of today. Indeed. Well, let's get going. Beep, beep, beep. It's him! This is Wright. Good morning. This is Mr. Attorney, the day of the trial. Maya! She's unharmed, right? Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how should I say, tired. Don't worry, people don't die that easily. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. Grr! For my sake as well as yours, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. What? A little present? What in the world would you want to give me? You'll figure it out once the trial starts, and even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest, if you please. Wait! You can never send me a present. Mr. Laura, dude, what was that? Oh, no one. It was nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. Dude, did your nose just get longer? What the hell? March 22nd, 10 a.m., District Court, Court number 3. Now, where's the prosecution? Court is now in session for the trial of Matt and Guard. Are the prosecution and the defense ready? The defense is ready, Your Honor. But the same cannot be said for the prosecution. I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma? I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me? Your Honor, please be quiet, bailiff. Court is now in session. If you must tell something, please keep it brief. Now, what is it? Prosecutor Von Karma has. This morning, Mr. Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman. What? Shut! Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about. Getting rid of the prosecution so the defense can have an easy streak and easily get an acquittal? His present. Miss Von Karma is one of those top prosecutors in the country in the moment. If she were to disappear, it would be to your advantage. Making it easy streak for me doesn't quite suit it. This is totally insane. Miss Von Karma, is she alright? I don't have that answer. She's alive and in a stable condition. That's good. Phew. I thought he'd show up. Your Honor, due to the circumstances, Miss Francisca Von Karma cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready, naturally. So you're gonna take over as the prosecution. Miss Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Kinda like how Manfred Von Karma was shot in the previous case. Luckily, I have looked into the case over and I'm familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Mattengarde. The court acknowledges the prosecution. Alright, I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you two will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. Witness, your name and occupation. My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct for now. For now? After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir. Detective Gumshoe. The prosecution has no need for depressed witness. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes, sir! Now, let's have your testimony. If you want to explore the various facets of the case, we must start with that. Get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very rough fight. Yeah. It would have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. The answer he was struggling for. Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth. Bare facts of the case. This murder happened after the Hero of Awards ceremony, sir. The victim, Juan Corrida, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. At first, we thought there was something suspicious with the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room. Yes, sir. But both the victim and the defendant went alone in the room, sir. I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. What the hell am I gonna press on this? Well, if I do frig up, at least I got the walkthrough. And why is my computer frickin' frozen? And cast. There we go, okay. The murder happened after the Hero's War ceremony, sir. Hold it! Will you please give us a brief timeline on what happened after the ceremony? Okay, the ceremony started at 6 p.m. It ended at around 8 p.m. and there was a short break. The special post-ceremony show was supposed to start in the lobby 30 minutes later. And that was when the victim's body was found, correct? Which is to say the murder occurred during the 30-minute break period. Please continue with your testimony. So, where's the autopsy report? The victim, Juan Corrida, was found dead in his hotel room. Hold it! The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct? Yeah, who's this Adrian Andrews you're talking about? She's a defendant, Matt and Garda's manager. She's a really pretty lady, sir. Ah, so she's a pretty lady. I wonder if she'll grace us with her presence. When the post-ceremony show was about to start, she went to get Mr. Angardi. After visiting the room, she went back to the victim's room to get him for the show, sir. I see. That's when she found the victim's body? After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. Hold it! The cause of death, wasn't that because Mr. Corrida was stabbed in the chest? Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal. Take a good look, hard look at the crime photo. Now, a real pro's attention will be drawn here to the bandana. Bandana? Banana? His bandana, sir. That's what the thing wrapped around his neck, sir. Ah, yes. Yes, I see his banana-scented bandana. What?! Then, what about the knife? It seems that it had been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after the death. We have a crafty murder on our hands here. So, the stabbing was post-mortem? So he was strangled and then stabbed. Juan's autopsy report, time of death, 8:15. Strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. At first we thought there was something suspicious with the empty guitar case. Hold it! And why did you think that? Because it was empty, pal. The Gem Ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. And we couldn't find it anywhere on the scene of the crime. Oh, then how about this theory? A fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that? We thought of that too, but the only fingerprints on the case were the victims. Only the victims, huh? I see. So much for my theory then. There's empty. There's some water, but on the top of the lid bears Cordida's fingerprints. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. Hold it! What makes you say that? What convinced you that it had nothing to do with the case? The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night. Well then, where was it? The bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. The victim, Juan Corrida, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir. So you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case? Yes, even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar. So that guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel. Yeah, that's right, so it had nothing to do with the case after all. I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Okay. I feel like we're getting somewhere. I don't know. But we have two new pieces of evidence that were updated. The guitar case and... Wait, the autopsy report. Then after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Matt and Guard? Because there was a reason to enough to suspect him. Here it comes. Looks like Edward's back in full swing. Very well. Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter. Yes, sir. Why arrest Ungard? Managard and Juan Corrida were huge rivals with each other. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the Jammin' Ninja's button. It was ripped off the ninja costume and was found in Mr. Ungard's hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder. What? So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing. It was sort of a sticky handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clearly, sir. Knife added to the court, bears the victim's blood, and Ungard's fingerprints in the grip. Gatewater is engraved. Gatewater is engraved. So it belongs to the hotel. They didn't actually buy it. And then there's this button. Well, that was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? And this button also covered in blood? Yes, and we know that the blood on the victim, sir. What? Was ripped from his costume. It was covered in Corrida's blood, found in Ungard's hakama. All of this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet? Right? No! Nope! No! No! Nada! I'll find your hole in your argument somehow. You can press as hard as you like. Just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. Grr. Why arrest Ungard? Cross-examination. My turn to say something. Ungard and Guang were huge rivals with each other. Hold it! But in terms of popularity, Mr. Ungard won, did he not? Yeah. But you know what's ironic, pal? Juan Corrida was always one step behind Mr. Ungard and everything. This year it seems like he finally caught up, ready for the big final showdown. But Mr. Corrida lost the Grand Prix in the end. This too was bad. He must have been pretty downhearted after losing. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's what motive enough in my book. Hold it! So what? Wait a second there. Mr. Ungard was beating Mr. Corrida in the popularity polls. Well, yeah, I guess, but... Which means that in the defendant's eyes, the victim was not the rival at all. Which means he had no motive to kill at all. Just because they were against each other and one was winning does not mean one had to kill the other. Yes, I could agree. Well, detective? It's not, well, I guess if you put it that way, then yeah, the defendant had no motive. No. Detective, I'm beginning to see why you were fired. Eh? No, not you too, Mr. Archer. Sir, that's... I'll look forward to your pension negotiations. Oh. No! No, detective, let's continue with the testimony. Sniff. No, not my poor pension, too. Detective, if you value your money, I suggest you proceed. Yes, sir, we can talk about the pension later, sir. What was I saying? Hello, anyone? Oh, God. As for the evidence, there's Jammin' Ninja button. Hold it! Do you have any proof that the button belonged to the victim? Huh? What do you mean, pal? Oh, let me put it this way. I'm asking you if you have any evidence to back up your claim that this button was ripped off the Jammin' Ninja's costume. Huh? But can't you just tell that by looking at it? And the victim's blood is on it. Anyone could have smeared that blood on there afterwards. Mr. Edgeworth, help me, sir! Alright, I knew it had to be this piece of evidence. Now to reel this one in. Thread. Huh? The button was attached to the costume by thread, obviously. And that thread snapped when the button was torn off. If you match the ends of the thread on the costume with the thread on the button, it's a perfect match. Yeah, that's it. There's a perfect match, pal. That's Edgeworth for you. Never misses a beat. It was ripped off the ninja costume and found on the Mr. Ungard's hakama. I gotta press on everything. Hold it! When was this button found? Pretty soon after the body was found, and we rounded up everyone who knew Mr. Corrida. And then we did a search on them all, and that's when we found the button. So it was almost immediately after the murder. The police didn't have the free time to lollygag and play tricks, unlike some people. Hey, what is he trying to say about me here? The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. Hold it! How were the fingerprints arranged on the knife? Huh? What do you mean, pal? By examining the fingerprints, you can determine how the defendant held the knife. For example, did he hold it normally or overhand? Was it sort of like this? Or was it sort of like this? Well, it was what we meant. Well, I didn't actually think of it. I can't believe the babbling of this department. Hopeless. Weren't you paying attention to the testimony even right? The defendant's fingerprints were all over the knife. So what? Which way? There is no way to determine how the knife was held at the moment of the murder. So the defendant, the owner of the knife, was in. The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder. It says Gatewaters and Graves, so... Objection! It wasn't a premeditated murder. Because it belonged to the hotel. Wait a second! What? So the basis of your argument is that this was a premeditated murder, simply that my client bought a knife beforehand. That's right, pal. The defendant did not buy this knife. Huh? Take a good look at the handle of the knife and you'll see what I'm talking about. Huh? It has Gatewater seal set into the handle. Gatewater? I think I've heard that name somewhere before. That's the name of the hotel, the Gatewater Hotel. Uh-oh. Not... This is sort of like a Nixon thing here. Gatewater, Watergate. The murder knife was actually a property of the hotel, which means the murder was not premeditated. Yes, that is very true. This is one very big... What is it, Mr. Richards? I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless. What? What did I overlook this time, A.G. Weird? I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined. How so? I meant this knife is hotel property. No one currently on the police force that is that dumb enough to realize this. But I didn't... No, whimper. The question is, where did this knife come from? Why, it's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Corria's room. Nope. I think I knew where that knife came from. Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. It came from Engard's room. How do I know? Because there were two plates with empty plates with, like, finished up T-bone steaks on it. One plate had a knife and fork with a bone steak on it, and the other plate had a knife, a steak, a fork and a steak, but no knife. That knife came from that plate in the other room. The victim ate the last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention was on top of the table. There's a knife and fork on the table. Then, where in the world did this knife come from? If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room the defendant met Sir Matt Engard. See, that's the table with the two plates. Especially was on top of his table. One plate with a fork and knife, and another plate with only a fork. There was something missing. Perhaps this is a single knife? We've investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and then we're investigating, came to the conclusion that Mr. Matt Engard's knife was missing. Eric! Mr. Engard had gone to the victim's room with the knife and used her in dinner. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was a premeditated murder. That the murder weapon was not prepared beforehand. It was simply out of convenience. Okay, now what? Amazing, Mr. Richards. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliant and clear deduction. It seems like Mr. Richards had this plan from the very beginning. This must be one of those traps, and I walked headlong into it. A murder weapon with the fingerprints and a button from the victim's costume. There is quite a sizable amount of evidence here. I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of Your Honor's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were to present evidence not yet shown to the court. Evidence not yet shown? He means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet. In other words, new evidence. What does the defense have to say about this, Ms. Wright? Well, Phoenix, the judge is favoring the prosecution right now. If we answer with something wrong here, the capital of his will be ringing out the sound of our defeats. Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to the court? I do. No, I don't. I'm gonna have to say I do because for some reason I have to assume there is. There's one. One piece of evidence that catches my attention. Which is it? No. I think that's it! Something that the score is yet to see. Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I'm giving you one chance and only one. What the judge is saying, right, if don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here. If I mess it up, it's curtains for all of us. Ah! Oh shit, a full bar, no way! I may present one and only one piece of evidence. Frig up once and it's all over! Oh, now then, what is the important piece of evidence? This one. This is wine glass, isn't it?
Oh god! And it was a full bar! It was almost about to rip my face off!
Please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. The scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against the assailant. The vase was broken, his makeup was all over the floor, and there were things that were at one point sitting on the top of the dresser. Well, yes, I see your point. However, this glass that is sitting on the top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. So who brought it to the room? The only thing that had not fallen over with everything else is this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. Who brought it over? And not noticed that the whole place was a frickin' goddamn mess. Well, what do you all have to say? This is a little peculiar. Yes, isn't it? I thought it was. You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. Mr. Edgeworth? What is it, Your Honor? Your opinion? You don't need my opinion. Because there's no special meaning to that glass. What? It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place. By the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example. She could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking. That does sound pretty possible, Mr. Wright. No! Could Miss Andrews really have set the glass down without thinking? It's possible. No, nobody looks at a huge freaking mess like this and sets the glass down. It's like, this place is perfectly fine. I'm gonna walk on my merry way. No! If I appear weak here, the trial is all over. I can't look for my proof later. For now, I should trust my instinct and point with certainty. They just might fall for it if you're thought-provoking enough. The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. We'd like to see something that proves it was Miss Andrews who set the cup on the table. You turned the situation on its head yet again, as usual. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim? There's no way he has any. He was just bluffing. Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have evidence to support it. What? You're not thinking hard enough today, right? Do you think this wine glass escaped my notice? Then, of course it has been thoroughly inspected for fingerprints. Fingerprints? There is one set of fingerprints left on the wine glass. Only one? Well, whose are they? They were not the victims nor the defense, rather they were one of Adrian Andrews. What?! Found next to the victim pillow bears Adrian Andrews' fingerprints. So that's why I said that the person who discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright? Grr, I can't believe I fell into another trap. Because he knew about the glass, but by questioning it, it somehow supported his case, because the questions I was about to ask were going to solidify every argument he was going to make. Miss Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Corrida. When upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser. What you just said makes a lot of sense. Tisk tisk. Now do you see, Mr. Wright? You can't change any part of my scenarios. It explains everything all too well. Grr, I thought long and hard this year about what it means to be a prosecutor. And from here on out, I'll show you the answer I have to come to discover. Wait a second, Mr. Edgeworth. I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict. Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecution has yet another witness we'd like to hear the court from. Another witness? Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness. What in the world is Mr. Edgeworth thinking? I think I have an idea. It's Old Bag. Yep. Oba-chan. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. Witness! Your name and occupation. Rat-tat-tat-tat. Ah! Haha, gotcha! Edgeworth has a hard time getting the witness's name. Grr! I wonder what happened to that calm composure you had earlier. Oh, Edgy boy, it's been that year since we last met, hasn't it? You should have been more happy to see me. I saw that report with their testimony, but who knew that under that helmet there was a wicked witch of the witness stand. I tell you, this time I know what I'm supposed to do. So today I'm going to tell you everything, anything and everything. Even things that don't have to do with that terrible crime. Miss Witness, what that terrible crime is to the court that needs to know. Oof! Shush! I'm talking to my dear Edgy Wedgie right now. Don't interrupt us, Gramps! What? Yes, madam. No, by all means, please, interrupt her. Please. Ahem. Anyways, witness your testimony, please. It's true the way they say youth are hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind at all, Edgy. Now then, what should I start with? The witness was on the security detail in the hotel the night of the murder. Is this correct, Miss Oldbag? It was a great job being able to see my dear Juan. It was almost too much for my little heart to handle. You mean? You're a fan of the victim. Look, everyone is crazy over that on guard, saying he's cute in a fresh way or something. But not me. I wouldn't say anything so silly. After all, I have no interest in a little child like him. My only interest is in the real man, Juan Corrida. But those two were the same age. Anyway, as I was saying, I was pacing in front of the room that night. Very well, please tell the court when you witnessed the night of the murder. Leave it to me, Edgy Poo! What you witnessed? Witness testimony. Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around in the hallway in front of the room. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know? Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor Juan's room. It was on guard. Man on guard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room! So when Mr. Guard came out from the victim's room. You see, it had to be him. He's a murderer. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. What you witnessed? Okay. Anyway, after the ceremony, I'm gonna shave it, because I know I'm gonna freak up badly. Hold it! Miss Oldbag, what was your point? What was your post on that night? The lobby. I was supposed to help set up the stage for that trifling show, but I refused to help. I'll have you know it was for that lead headman samurai show. And I even took out a few nails. Maybe it was a good thing the show didn't go on. Besides, the manager with the glasses seemed to be working hard on without me, so I thought I'd take a break and spread my wings a little. And that's when you went to the hangar on the victim's door. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know? Hold it! What was it? Something you were interested in, and just what was it? It's not something you can go around telling everyone, you know? It's top secret between me and Juan. And Edgy Boo, of course. Mr. Edgeworth, what is it he was interested in? I have no idea. I despise gossip, Your Honor. Gossip? But it should prove relevant. We can always have it appended to our testimony later. Looks like we shouldn't force it right now. And did the witness stay in the vicinity of the victim's store the entire time? Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. Hold it! Oh, then would you tell us the number of people who went in and out of Mr. Corrida's room? I have no idea. I wasn't born so I could count things for those who didn't pay attention in class. That's why ever since I turned 20, I quit keeping track of how old I really am. Dear God. Yes, well, that would explain why your age was not included in the report. And in any case, the witness then we saw someone, correct? That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor Juan's room. Hold it! Who in the world was that? I'm not allowed to say. That sort of information is to be carefully guarded from that masses, Sonny. The man that came out of the Juan room, he was. Yes, he was. I'm too scared I can't say his name out loud. Do it! Just do it! Oh, I wouldn't give to have Francisco's whip right about now. Well, I guess I can tell you, he's such a bad boy anyways. It was Matt and Guard. He was trying to seek his way out of Juan's room. Hold it! You saw my client. Are you sure about that? Yes, see? Really? Anyway, Brett, when I saw someone, I saw that person. Why do I get a sense of deja vu? Maybe to avoid or repeat. I should probably press on one of those things. But which one? The person's clothes. Was he wearing different clothes? What the person was carrying... The person's face. Let's try the person's face. Please tell the court about the Mars face. You don't need me to tell you about his face. That soft, gentle look in his eyes, effeminate lips. That's right, he covered his silky hair, his sparkling, shiny teeth. His teeth were shining. Well, he's shining all around. Week's pinup poster, dearie. This week's pinup, what do I mean? I don't care what he looks like in the week's issue. Please stay out with what I saw tonight. What? And Garth's face is the same no matter what it is. So, Mr. Wright, was there a testimony just now important or relevant anyway? No. I guess there wasn't... Mr. Wright, do you know why any time is relevant? If not, I suggest you learn. Would I feel a little presence or childish? So you can hear it out. It's bad for us, really bad. But that's how the human mind is. It has a tendency to jump off topic. He's straight onto a few interesting side topics, this too. That's what makes her a sweet old lady, right? That's because you're not the one who has to question her. Okay, there's something I got a question, but what? Okay, what the person was carrying. The person's clothes. I have an idea about the person. Please tell the court about the man's clothes in more detail. What troublesome man you are, stuff really matters. But it does. Now they're saying, oh yes, it was that thing. That thing. The goddamn thing he was always wearing, the racing jackets. Sorry, the thing meant for but seducing women out of their pantaloons. Men. Right. So, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now important or irrelevant? It was not that important. Okay, the middle question. He's way out of one's room. Hold it! Okay, so it has to be a middle question. Not the face, what the person was carrying. What was the man you saw carrying? In which hand, his right or his left? No, that was a real mess. I mean, I can't be expected to answer such a vague question. Indeed, please be more specific with your... Sorry, what was that man you saw carrying in his right hand? He wasn't carrying anything in that hand. Then what about his left? Empty. Well, this whole thing has been a nothing. So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or irrelevant? Anyway, Something tells me I'm gonna need the walkthrough for this. Okay, give me a second. I need to look. Because I know I'm gonna frig up so bad that it's never gonna Managard. Makes this a premeditated murder. What you witness is guard who's trying to take it away. Oil bags. Wait. Pistol bag or statement regarding guard. There's something fishy. Judge tells her. Wait, hold on a second. Oldbag says the person she saw was wearing a racing jacket. The judge asks if it's important. Tell him that it is very important. You request that Oldbag had the information. Something the judge tells her to do. Flash jacket presented. Jamming into button. Okay, so I'm actually gonna have to reload the previous one. So it's actually the person's clothes. It is very important. Of course it was important. Then perhaps you'd like to point out what part of the testimony is important. Don't you see, Edgeworth? Your Honor, I requested that the witness said about the jacket be appended to her testimony. I don't quite see where you're going with this, but alright. Witness, please. Well, I don't see it to be like to badmouth anyone without reason, but if I must. He was wearing a flashy jacket, but it's all silly just for show. Objection! There we go, okay. So I got that one properly. The reason why that was objectionable is because it was found on the Hakama. Not the racing jacket. Don't say my name for no reason! Do you know what this is? Why, it's button number 2 on the Jammin' Ninja's costume! Now I know she's an obsessed fan. She's identified in a single glance. Give it here, give it here. Why don't you give it to me? I'll punish you with this. Wow, she really has a die-hard fan. She wants a button covered in blood. This button was discovered on Mr. Unguarded's body during a full-body search. See? This button proves beyond a doubt. Shadow of a doubt, it was a rascal Unguarded. It was caught up in the pleats of his Nickel Samurai Hakama pants. See? And Unguarded is the Nickel Samurai. Nope, you failed to note it in your testimony. That shows you've overlooked it. You've only mentioned his racing jacket. You didn't mention anything about the Nickel Samurai costume. Witness! Now, if it may be just me, and I do have an active imagination, but just now, didn't you say the defendant, Unguarded, was wearing his usual racing jacket? Ah, I'm so sorry. Sorry that you judge people based on what they wear. If there were any... Oh god, she's not shutting up. Why won't she shut up? Shut your mouth. Shut your goddamn mouth. Fish CD's ages ago. Dear God, what is she saying? She never shuts up. That's what he said. Now hold your tongue still there for 1 second. So what you saw in actuality was not Mr. Unguarded, the man. But Mr. Unguarded, the Nickel Samurai? Well, when you think about it, they really were one and the same, really. Really? This old bag, this is a very important point we're talking about. Edgy poo, don't you think so? Well, it might be something worth considering. Just say it's important and agree with a change. Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify. Alright, if you insist. I should be the one sighing, not you. Who I saw. Guard. Yes, now I remember. The Nickel Samurai, that's right. It was the Nickel Samurai that I saw. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. He had to go to that post-ceremony right after the crime, you know. So he must have worn that Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing poor one. I knew it. I knew you'd say he was inside the costume. What? Do you think it could have been someone else inside that costume? Don't be a bad little boy thinking such true things. But the possibility does exist. So you youngins today, I told you there's no way it was anyone else. How do you know that? Because I said so, and what I say is the truth. Not good enough! At least she is just as delightful as witness as she was a year ago. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Who I saw... Guard, yes, I remember. Hold it! Will you please get on with your testimony? Watch your language, young man. What sort of tone is that to take with an elder? My youthfulness isn't what it used to be, so it should forgive me for everything. You keep your barking at me like that, and I'll start singing at the top of my lungs. Oh, what? A strict figure by the seas, standing all alone is he, the Nickel Samurai. She's actually singing. Someone help my poor ears. Mr. Edgeworth, can you please do something about this racket? Witness, I'll give you a piece of gum later if you be good and stick to the facts. Okay! You promise, right? Right? I'll be sending the bill for the chewing gum to your office on a later date. Remind me to send you a thank you note letter too, Edgeworth, old chum. Nickel Samurai, that's right, it was the Nickel Samurai that I saw. Hold it! Be a little more careful with your testimony, please. Not long ago you said that he was wearing a racing jacket, and now he's not? Not long ago? Let me ask you this, when you were itty bitty, what was your grand dream? What do you want to be when you grow up, whippersnapper? My dream? Huh? Well, I wanted to be a Judge Wagner, hero of the public court, so what? Oh, look where you are now, you're not a Judge Wagner, are you? Well, what I said earlier? Who puts any weight into things like that? And now is everything, I can't be held responsible for the past. Since when did court become theatrics over testimony? All that matters is the man was inside the costume, is that enough? Nope. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear the costume. Judge Wagner. What the frick? Silver trophy Judge Wagner? Press Oldbag's claim it was Nickel Samurai. Prestoli's claim. Present Max profiles photo to Maya. Okay. Hold it! And why would that be? Well, no No one could see his face, of course, but there's still no advantage for him that I can see. In fact, you would think that the costume would make him stand out a lot more. You're such an annoying child, you know, you disagree with everything I say. Isn't that what you're always doing to me? I got it. Maybe it was more troublesome for him to change in and out of his costume. He had to go to the post-ceremony stage right after the crime, you know? Hold it! Was there anyone else scheduled to appear at the post-ceremony show? Well, all the contestants were supposed to go on stage at the friendly gestures thing. And that included the Jam and Ninja. Of course that included them. That's why when a guard came out of Dear Juan's room, it didn't give him a second thought. I see. Well, anyways. So he must have worn that nickel costume when he was stabbing poor Juan. Hold it! So let me ask you one last time. The person you saw was really a nickel samurai. As showy as ever. Haven't I been saying that from the very beginning? Can you not throw in the towel yet? You don't need to think hard on this one. Huh? There's a contradiction in your testimony and it's sitting in plain sight. The question is what that contradiction means for us. Well, I figure out what you're talking about first, but okay. Okay. I think this is the one that I was talking about. So he must have worn that nickel samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan. What do we know about the murder? That he was strangled and then stabbed. So... Objection! Why? It didn't work! Why didn't it work? I think my chats aren't going through. I think your chats are going through. Okay, I don't think that won any points. Okay. He was... Okay, so it didn't contradict this autopsy report because for whatever reason I overlooked it. Okay, I gotta think. So he must have worn that nickel costume when he was stabbing poor Juan. Stabbing? How many times was he stabbed? There's a victim's blood and guard's fingerprints in the grip. So he must have worn the nickel samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan. I feel like there's something off about this. It bears his fingerprints, but when he's wearing the costume, he'd be wearing gloves, so... Objection! I figured it out. Please take a look at this. Yeah, so it's a knife, big deal. If you're trying to scare me with that, I'll have you know it won't work. Oh, no, that's not my intention at all. And what's a knife? That was a knife that's used in the murder, correct? Your Honor? That's a good one. Do you know why this piece of evidence is important to the case? You don't even have to ask, just because the defendant's fingerprints are on it. Is that what you're driving at? That's exactly what I'm driving at. Where are you driving at, and whose car are we driving? If Mr. Ngar was really in the nickel samurai costume at the time of the murder, then it's impossible for fingerprints to have left on this knife. Actually, he would have wiped off all of previous fingerprints on this knife right off. Oh, that's right, the nickel samurai wears gloves, doesn't he? He probably took his gloves off before he began the stabbing. Why? And why would he do something like that to leave his prints on the murder weapon? There's no way he would do something like that. However, there's one possibility. Then let's hear a possibility. It's very simple. The defendant went to the victim's room while in the costume as Nickel Samurai. And at that time, the defendant held no intent of murder. He was probably just going to talk with the victim on the stage show. Which is why he took his gloves off. But the murder still did place. It's well known that there was bad blood between the victim and the defendant. Yes, I've heard that before. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about Mr. Edgeworth's theory? Am I the only one here right now? Yes. So let me get this straight. Edgeworth's theory goes like this. When the defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intention of killing him. Now, up to this point, are there any problems with this theory? Why? There is a contradiction. Because the victim was still strangled. The theory contradicts something in the area of testimony. What are you babbling about? Now, for argument's sake, let's suppose Mr. Ngar was the killer. If that's the case, I think it was possible for the killer to go on the victim's room without intent. Because of this! I frigged up. Naturally, you point to the one piece of least value, but it's bigger. Oops, I frigged up. Shit! Pay attention. Let's pretend for a second that Mr. Guard is the murderer. Now, from the angle, if he didn't have the murderous intent from the very beginning, then that means there's a certain object that should be at the crime scene, right? A certain object that shouldn't be at the crime scene. A certain thing. What certain thing? How are you doing over there? Busy collecting your thoughts? Do you have a test today? Yes, I am. Taking a break from everything. Speaking of taking a break for everything, let's give this one more try and even with more spirit. Also, you're floofy! Alright, I need to take a break. I need to have some lunch. I'm gonna get back to this later. Oh, but first things first, I need to save it, even if I frigged up a lot. Alright, break time. Be right back.